You're looking at number 12 on your rational study guide. You've got these two kind of complicated expressions, and you will notice that it is two rational expressions, two fractions, which means you have to look right here first to see what to do in between. That's the operation that's happening between them. That is subtraction. Subtraction and addition always means common denominators. Okay? This is not true of multiplication or division. But if you do not have common denominators, you cannot add or subtract rational expressions. So, the cool thing about that is, take a look at these denominators. N squared plus 4n minus 32. Ugh. And then look, n squared plus 4n minus 32. This is a gift from heaven, because that means you already have common denominators, which means you can join those numerators underneath a single numerator. Okay? And now, let's take a look at the numerator and see how we can combine those. Basically, you can go ahead and add those up. N squared plus 7n. Notice it's minus. Here's where you have to be super careful. Remember that in a rational expression, around an entire numerator or an entire denominator, there are implied parentheses. They're there. They're invisible, which means that this is minus this entire quantity, n plus 16. Okay? Not just the n. Both of those things get that, which means this will simplify to, and I'm just going to rewrite the denominator here, and I'll factor it in a minute. I just don't need to right now. This is the same as n squared plus 7n minus n minus 16. All right, so the only math right now that we need to do is we're going shopping for like terms. So, no. Is there an n squared? Nope, so I'm just going to leave that there. Plus 7n minus 1n. If you have 7, take away 1, that would be plus 6n. And then this minus 16 doesn't have a like term. And it's going to be over n squared plus 4n minus 32. Okay? You'll notice I kept rewriting it. It's no big deal. Rewrite it. Okay? Sometimes people forget to rewrite it and they leave it behind, which means it gets forgotten, which means their answer is incorrect. So keep writing. You'll notice that when I do my math, from step to step, and this is a key to algebra, from one step to the next, it is always still true and still equal. Okay? I've just rewritten things in factored ways so that they look, in some cases, it's almost like a map. Sometimes you have to unfold a map to fold it back in the proper way. So with algebra, sometimes it's like that. It's like I've unfolded it, and then I have to figure out how to refold it back in a neater way. So now I just need to factor and see what are the factors, what the factors are, and if I can make any ones by canceling. So 16. I'm going to make a factor list for you here. 16 I know is 1 times 16. There's no way with those two factors that I could end up with a 6 in the middle. 2 times 8. A 2 and an 8 is a really good candidate, but I'm going to continue with the list. 3 does not go evenly into 16. Okay? 4 times 4 does go into 16. And that means anytime you've got like a perfect square at the end of it, then you've listed all the factors. So, because look, these are going, the values are going up. I know, writing it, I wrote it down, but as the values on the left increase, that's what I should say, then these are decreasing. When they meet in the middle, you've listed all the factors. All right, so 2 and an 8, and it's got to be positive, so I'm going to rewrite this as, it's going to be n. To get a plus 6n, I've got to have a positive 8 and a negative 2. And then I double check. Positive 8 times negative 2 is negative 16. Positive 8 plus negative 2 is a positive 6. So I factored that one correctly. I'm going to do the same thing. And again, 32 is 1 times 32. It's 2 times 16. I'm looking for a pair of factors that somehow give me a 4. 3 doesn't go into 32. 4 times 8, yep. 5 won't go into 32. 6, if 3 didn't go into 32, 6 doesn't go into 32 because 3 goes into 6. So 6 can't go. 7 does not go into 32. 8 times 4, notice, remember I said that on the left-hand side, those values are increasing as the right-hand side decrease. And when you reverse your factors, you know that you had already listed them all. So I'm looking for 2 values in that list that somehow would give me a 4, and I do see it. It's going to be a 4 and an 8. So it's going to be an n positive 8 and an n minus 4, because multiplied that gives me a negative 32, but added that gives me a positive 4. Now it is fun / and burn, and n plus 8 over n plus 8, that's a 1, so that cancels. And n minus 2 over n minus 4, remember that's a binomial, it's all or nothing. And so those don't cancel, which means that is your simplified solution to this particular problem.